Dikembe Mutumbo. Yeah. First, let's try to make sure that our volume is up, because the last time, they try to mess up my settings. So, everything seems to be clear. So, yeah, we're calling this one Dikembe Mutumbo. Yeah. Like I said in the last few episodes, what's happening is, well, I've been taking notes, processing everything that's been going on. So it's almost difficult, and I have a bad habit of wanting to stop and saying, okay, let me start here. But then some other stuff happens. I get more insights. I get insights right before I'm about to want to broadcast. So then I say, well, but the thing about Dikembe Mutumbo, his death aligned with a lot of things that was a good signal for me to return to the show. Why is that? A few reasons. The first is, of course, I think he died last Sunday. And it coincided with two things that I thought was significant. One is that we had a new moon. I might be glancing at my notes because I write and I freestyle. You know that. So it's a new moon in Libra. And I follow that. That's what people from Kemet do. I follow that, and it was saying that how it, meaning the astrologers, the forecasters, it's a time of a new beginning, to balance things out with an equilibrium. And that's how I've been feeling. I've been feeling like, even in my own personal life, I feel like all the things that I do are kind of balanced out, balanced out like this, but I want to bring it up to one focused pyramid. That's one thing. And the fact that it was Dikembe Mutumbo was significant too, because right now with all of the different people attempting this debate about black and blackness, and which is just semantics, and people who want a poverty pimp, it was ill that he died, because that's like the example. It's like, okay, you guys want to keep debating, boom, let me put a black person here that is black and African. And what was significant about that too, it coincided with also what was a solar eclipse. That was the signal for the new beginnings. Well, a new moon's always a new beginnings, and in Libra it was an equilibrium, but the solar eclipse. And it's what was the solar eclipse? Dikembe, the towering figure. Yeah. That was very significant. Not just for the fact that he was African, but the fact that, to give the example of what is black, like, oh, and well, we know he's black. The fact that he's well loved. I knew that immediately. It was kind of shocking to me. As soon as I said, oh, watch. And that was significant too, because these two cats, Cameron and Mace, I'm going to talk about them too. It's funny how Cameron was like, oh yeah, Africans don't like African Americans, and I don't think I'm that type of thing. And then now you're going to have to sit there and watch people revere an African in NBA season. That's how life works. I can't lie. You can see white people, black people, all type of people love this black African. Yeah. But what was funny too, like my homeboy, I don't call people homeboys, this person that I know, which I consider a friend, like, he was the first person to hit. As soon as Dikembe Mutumbo died, boom, picture with him in Mutombo. Next time I see somebody, boom, dude sitting there crying. Talk about how people love Dikembe. 3, boom, tribute in Abu Dhabi. I'm like, damn. Like that, 1, 2, 3. And that shit just started. So I felt that was very significant, because a lot of the debates, and that's why I'm talking to, a lot of the debates, a lot of these issues are just preposterous, ridiculous. People fronting. That shit's getting me mad tight. Even in my own family, with my parents. It's like, well, yo, are you really serious right now? That's what's going on. It's like, yo, are y'all crazy? And one of the things that turned me, it's been a lot of issues. I'll give you examples to show you how absurd people have lengths they've gone to prove, especially to a brother like me, which angers me too. I'm a positive brother. I care what anybody says. I'm here to build. Like I showed you. I got stacks and stacks of business cards. I'm always trying to network. Business plans, But my problem is that, one of my main problems, I'm surrounded with people who, and we're going to get into this, who professionally player hate. Or like, you're around people who hate you but want to kind of like sponge off you. I'm tired of it, huh? I'm tired of it because it's like exploitation. They take my home, and I'm actually humble. But the shit is getting ridiculous. I'm gonna give you a few examples. But first I'm gonna give you an example of what made me want to have to talk now. Because how ridiculous this shit is getting. And that's when Roland Martin tried to diss Janet Jackson. Like, people try to diss Janet Jackson for talking about Kamala Harris is black. That's why I'm glad Dikembe Mutumbo and the debate is good. But then now, it's like, okay, well, what's the comparison now? What do you say now? If Janet Jackson said Kamala Harris is not black, because she's not black. She identifies as black. Yeah, in America, it's the fact that the one drop rule, but that shit has made people exploit people from black. And because nigga, they doing that to me. Like, they used this is what happened. The black people picketed to integrate the diner. Everybody went in. And then now, they kicking them out. Hold on for a minute. Hello? Yeah. So they kicked them out after they integrated. That's a technique. They use the civil rights strategy to get attention. The civil rights strategy is protest and law. And then, because of the pressure they put on, they do business. That's the model that they all use. Whites, gays, feminists, everybody. But my point is that dude tried to use me like that. I saved him from a racial situation, stood up for him. He went around my back and tried to do an $8 billion deal. That's wrong. And this is a person who's not black. That's wrong. And that's how I view this whole black thing going on right now. It has nothing to do with like principle. It has to do with the fact that, and I get it too, it's politics. In the sense of, you have a position, you want to defend your position, but don't tell people Kamala Harris is black. Tell people that you're black, supporting Kamala Harris. Because that shit has gotten too out of hand. Anybody. And the thing is, you allow that to happen and then player hate people who really on some positive black shit. Who have the skills. And that's wrong. That's why what's going on in New York right now. The mayor and his team, including Sharpton, they want to consolidate the power amongst them because they've been in power for so long, taking advantage. It's called taking advantage of movements. That's what you guys see. You start a movement, like I just told you. You start a movement, you protest, get people behind you. You can either do two things. Use those people who get behind you to get elected, which is what Letitia James did. Or, if it's against a corporation or whatever, you put yourself at the table to bargain. That's 101. And the people there, they know that's the hustle. But the problem is, they just looking at it, the fact that they're just looking at it as almost like a cash cow for them personally, they don't have enough people power behind them to protect them against these attacks. That's what's happened right now. That's why you see the whole administration going down. But we'll get to that. Let me go back to, because again, this lady telling me I ramble when I know everything I'm talking about. Let me go back to what I'm saying, which is the reason why I'm talking is the absurdness of people trying to cow people down. That's a term called shut people up so that they could do business. And how absurd this got. Like when Roland Martin just Janet Jackson. That shit was crazy. Let me tell you why. Not only just the fact that it was, so Tito Jackson dies or something, and then you see Janet Jackson looking like Penny. And you know, and then all of a sudden she said it's just a blurb or something. She even questioned, and then bum ass bro. Let me not say that. He's like, yo, yeah, like, and making joke. And that's the thing about the African American, all these black people, period. The only people who do it in public though is the African American. This whole like making fun of people, trying to humiliate people, look at that shit, man. I'm Haitian American. I'm born here. I have to talk like you to defend myself from you. I don't want to talk like that. You bum ass, you tough. Nobody wants to be like that, bro. That shit is not like, it's not civilized. You a savage. You think that that's part of your culture. It's not. That's not culture. Is to cultivate. How are you cultivating when you tearing people down? I'm just tired of that, man. So this dude, they want to do that to Janet Jackson. You know what's so funny about that shit? Let me tell you. This dude, Tito Jackson, dies, right? And then this guy on TV, I'm not going to say your name. You a hater too, right? He's a rapper from Brooklyn, right? So I'm watching the stream, man. He must have been just talking about Janet Jackson. He's like, yeah, goon. That's the thing I'm saying, a goon. He's like, yeah, you know, Janet Jackson, we got to leave her up there. Like, don't even talk about her. But that's what I'm saying, like, and for Roland Martin, for who? For your own, for what boils down to your own political interests. You can't fear my, listen, for all people don't know now, let me put you on for the back. I'm in Palm Beach, Florida right now. Palm Beach. I moved here from Brooklyn in 2016 when Trump started. Niggas ain't telling me about no, I'm gonna die because of Trump. You're a fool. You're doing business. But let me say how absurd, but see, this is the problem. I'm not gonna illustrate just by talking, because when I talk, that's what makes it easy for them to dismiss me. I'm gonna give you examples, clear, of how absurd it is. Metaphoric and practical. Now, so you dissing Janet Jackson, who was on the blackest show ever, probably. Like, she was on Good Times, my nigga. Like, why you? Like, come on, the semantics is going crazy. But let me tell you again. So I'm thinking, I'm like, but let me tell you precisely the why that shit inspired me to talk. Because not only she had the show where I was black in the project, but remember, she had the realest storyline that I ever seen when her mother was abusing her. And you talking about who's black? You a fool. That should make me angry, because that's like what you doing to her. It's like you trying to, like, y'all want to fucking beat us up for speaking. And that's the whole generation. And that's what's going on with my parents right now. That's why I'm speaking out. It's like you're only doing that because you want to keep where you at. But that shit, but what's against the man, you want to do that, but then steal my style. So Roland, you want people to vote Democrat, while at the same time you want to create Black Star Line and capitalize off of it. That's why you want people to vote Democrat. You want to be able to do something with your network. But what do you know about Black Star Line? Black Star. I'll put you on my Facebook page when you with the other dude, Dr. Umar, in 2017, when I was debating. When Umar looked like a Muslim, before now he's see, play with somebody who don't know what's been going on. I'm sure this white, see, they got the white people, they just chill like that. Once they feel like you, see, that's the thing about Adams. Because Adams, the white people, or whoever his opponents, let me say that, his political opponents, don't feel like black people will, or like he has a base to speak up for him, even if it's online, they'll attack you. They'll come at you. That's what's going on with Adams right now. That's the thing. You want to cow, like, yo, that's how I feel. Like, yo, you want to burn us so that we can, and it's a generational thing too. That's what you're seeing in New York. We've had so many more. We've had Obama. We have this, but it's still the same older people who want to take advantage. Plus, in the black community. While other communities taking advantage of the black shit. That's what's going on. And that shit makes me angry. I'm tired of it. And this is righteous anger. You can't tell me that I don't have a right to feel like this. Listen, this shit is so absurd. That's the absurd shit this agenda. Let's get to some other absurd shit, right? I'm gonna talk about how and let me show you. Let me tell you. This to me is not only about that, it's the principle of people biting my style, but suppressing me at the same time, and then being fucking arrogant about it. Especially in hip hop by non-black people. I'm not having that at all. Because I lived through that, going to a school with mostly non-black people as a hip hop artist. They were always arrogant and undercover racist. Always. That's why now I'm gonna come out with a term called the hip hop Ku Klux Klan. Holla at me. Instead of white hoodies now, it's champion hoodies. You don't know who's racist in hip-hop. And it's mad at them. Listen, you don't even know. Again, we're going to use law terms. We don't call it de jure. See, they had a thing called de jure segregation de facto. De jure is segregation in name. Like, don't go to the bathroom. De facto means in fact. Like, it might not have said go to the not go to the bathroom. You can't go to a certain type of bathroom because of your color. That's what I mean. For people who want to run their mouth, talk about rambling now. So that's de jure. Right. De facto is in fact. You might not believe that. There's no law that says hip hop people are racist. But in fact, I'm going to show you how they've been moving like that for years. And that's why they hate me. And that's why I'm fighting back. Because I'm like, oh, y'all niggas really been hating on the... See, yeah, that's why. And the catalyst for that is... Which is one of the reasons why I call it Dikembe Mutumbo. Again, in the midst of all this debate about who's black and who's not, you have Dikembe Mutumbo. But then at the same time, like I said, like I'm saying, not like I said, my grandfather, named Boss, that's what I'm going to refer to him as, I almost felt like his spirit, all this time, he died in 2020, if you don't know. Didn't go to the funeral because some bullshit. We'll say that. Didn't go to his funeral, right? But I've been feeling the presence of his spirit, especially since all this talk about, hip-hop, New York. I can't think about New York without thinking about it. And the funny thing is, it's like history, though. My whole family, grandmother, everybody want to tell me don't think about what happened in 530. If you don't know, is that my grandfather had a home, again, that was bought by developers to build Pacific Park that you see today as part of the Brooklyn Yards Atlantic Center project. That was his home. And for some reason, they don't want me to speak or talk about an issue that has to be talked about. Now, if you don't want me to talk about it, I don't care. But it's part of my life. 538 Vanderbilt Avenue is on my birth certificate. And think about that for you sovereigns out there. A home that your name is on the birth certificate? That the address is on the birth certificate? All right, they don't want me to think about that. But unfortunate for them, it's almost like he's been guiding my hand to see the depths of the hate. And you know what he wants me to do? Fight back. And you know how? He told me. Again, I'm going to show you. See, I believe that I always feel that. A divine hand has been guiding me. So now we're going to show you that. So, like I said, even before all this thing going on in New York, I had a situation. I'm at the rest, trying to build. I'm hitting people up from New York, hitting some front, some answer back, and we'll get into that. Before all this stuff happened, so that's why I could run for mayor right now. I have all the paperwork, everything. Anyway, so I'm going around, I have my books, but, I already told you last week how my books talk to me, and it's been crazy since then. I feel like I'm in a matrix flow state. Like, I'm like, yeah, that's how I feel. Now, so I go into my books, and what do I pull out? This that says I'm with Anderson. Why is that significant? Because who's Anderson? Anderson is UFC. Again, UFC 360. First of all, again, I say that a lot, right? That's how I feel. I feel as if this is a new beginning. So 360, complete. Not only do I feel like I'm complete as far as my skill set and what I'm trying to do, but I feel like it's a cycle that's been complete and we want to move forward. That's what it felt like with this UFC 360. But in order to move forward, you have to fight to get out of cycles. You have to. But it says I'm with Anderson. Why does that matter? Because Anderson is also the first name of my grandfather, Anderson. Yeah. I'm with Anderson. And the thing about why that's significant too, because my whole the hypocrisy of people who want to live off of my grandfather's name but hate me. And it's like, it shouldn't even say I'm with Anderson. It should say Anderson is with me. Yeah, UFC 360. You see, and I like this too because, again, you see Anderson Silva, the martial artist. And we're going to bring in the sports into this too. Because if you think you could talk about sports, when I'm done with that, with decoding too, we're not even talking about the actual game. Because I don't think you might know a little basketball. I don't think you know no baseball. You definitely don't know baseball. The football is... This, you don't know. Anyway. So, UFC 360, Anderson Silva. I'm also a martial artist. I'm not a UFC artist. I train like a UFC artist. Like UFC martial artist. But I've never done UFC. I am a martial artist though. Consider myself to be a martial artist. Oh. Before I do that, before I talk about that, Hold on. Yeah, UFC 360, right? So it's L because Anderson Silva from Brazil. We'll get to that. I'm tapped in there. And you know what's so funny about it? Let me give you a freebie. Let me give you something maga dog since you like teeth my blood clot thing them. You want to build a platform for my style. Talk about bald head and dread. Let me give you something dirty, boy. Listen. These are nice colors. They Brazil, right? But who else? Oh no, you can't say that. See, that's an argument you can make. That's what people don't know. That's why the Kamala Harris shit is funny too. Let me flip it on you, right? Before I start, the thing about the thing about the Kamala Harris shit is this too. The Caribbean community, and we're not just talking about black people. That's the thing most people don't know. We're talking about Indians. We talk about Indian as in from India, Asians from China, Arabs from Middle East, all are in the Caribbean. Have been there for a minute. They're here in Florida. And guess who they behind? They all love Khaled. We're going to get to that. But that's my point. They've all been able to take advantage of being black in America while at the same time they be still racist, and I'm sick of it. Sick of it. Now, That's why the Kamala Harris shit upsets me. Because they be hating on the God. And then now y'all want to be black? No. But yo, not only that too, you know, this was an L year talking about sports, 2014. See, I got this 2013 and 2014. Let me tell you what I was doing in 2014. 2014, teaching in Far Rockaway, Queens. Cold as hell. And if you remember that Super Bowl, it was Seahawks and Niners. After the game when Sherman tipped the ball, I forget. He was like, "You will never defeat me." Yeah, so that's how rough it was. And speaking of that, speaking of that, right? I moved down here in Palm Beach, Florida, to a home that my parents built. I had no idea. I came down here for a particular reason I get into, but that shit was like imagine the city nigga they put in a goddamn swamp. That's what yeah. I'm saying that to say that the mentality that I'm going forward with and the mentality that I had to tap into was three aspects. One, the native New Yorker. And we talk about native New Yorker. Let me give a shout out. When I talk about native New Yorker, I'm talking about channel 2, 4, 5, 7, 9, 11, 13, 21, 25, 31, 41, 57, and even 54. Just look at Lamed. T'as fait pas bon, pas jambon. Alright, nigga? Moi, City Hall, et puis well, move on. And give a shout out to, and you know, like I said, as the hip hop thing's been going on, I've been tapping into the native New Yorker type of thing. So let me give a shout out to all of the reporters that I remember and I actually seen on the algorithm. Jim Dolan. You still doing shit, Jim Dolan? Kaidi Tom, Ernie Anastas, McGee Hickey, John Johnson, Dr. G, Pablo Guzman, Maurice Dubois, you still doing your thing, NJ Burkett, Marsha Kramer, you like 80 years old. Maurice Dubois, Warner Ruth Salzberg, Russ, Dana Tyler, Roz Abrams, Sandra Bookman, still doing your thing. Bookman, that's L. And then I seen Storm Field and Jim Jensen. Damn. Only native New Yorkers get. That's how tapped in I am if I'm from New York. You know, that's how tapped in I am right now. Talk about New York. Especially with all the stuff that's going on. And you're going to see all these people running their mouth like they know what they're doing. See, that's what... Yeah, you can see all these people running their mouth. Yeah, that's how tapped... If you don't know those, don't even think about you telling me nothing about no New York. Right? Now. So my grandfather's spirit has kind of been, I feel like, guiding me. And yeah, 2014, that's why I want to show you this because, you know, I left New York, right? And a bum-ass nigga trying to talk about the circumstances that I left New York. When I left New York, I left like this. Yo, my stat sheet is... I was going crazy in New York, blood. I don't even want to say that. Going crazy. You hearing about it. That's why you mad. Anyway. But just to show you the type of timing I was on. You see, we're going to show you the blend of the difference. It's like this dude Vlad. This dude Vlad, like, you got to think to yourself. See, this is what's going on right now. We have a lot of computer scientists in the game masquerading as artists. Vlad is a computer scientist. You don't get that. So he's looking at the algorithm to determine, and you see, that's what I mean. You think I'm moving around knowing that this right here could be hacked. My Facebook is hacked. My phone is hacked. My email is hacked. That's how I move. I know that. I'm gonna throw the VPN on it too. But I give you some dirt to eat since that's how you want to move. But you see, you can't make people think that you part of the coordination. Let me show you. So Vlad TV has Tyson, the model, low life. Michael J. White, the martial artist. And who else? It was a third one. Eric Prince Blackwater. Now, Vlad, who are you? Like, we're supposed to think that in your mind that you're like the dude who's no, that's not you. But how do you? What made you? What big data did you look at to think that you could relate those three together? Yeah. But see, the thing about it is that this is how we're gonna do it now. I could just say that, right? I could be like, yo, you're not on my level, Vlad. What you know about that? But see, again, just like that bum who afraid to death, Jabari, who down with sign letter, talk about source up or shut up. You could get it too. I'm gonna just show you what there. Vlad, how you Russian? You from over there? You talk about this? You about war? You talk about martial arts, but then you don't have Sistema, the Russian martial art. You're a fraud. That's what we're gonna expose people now. Because you know why? It's not even about that. It's because now people have gotten so arrogant and hip. And that's why I came back in it too. It was a situation that we're gonna get to where people were getting just crazy. So we're gonna expose these frauds. That's how I feel like the spirit of my grandfather's kind of, because guess what? He was there through the whole hip hop shit at 538 Vanderbilt Avenue. And people don't want me to think about 538 because I cracked the code. I cracked it a long time ago. I know why certain things about that address and the location that you don't want me to tap into. But that's like telling me not to think about my history. And it's revealing how you guys been nasty. When you guys, my family members, people around me have been so disgusting towards me. That's okay. Because that's part of, again, to people out there, I'm the one who wrote Is Hip Hop an African Religion? So I'm going to show you how that pertains to myself. And part of that is the crucifying of E-props. And when I say crucifixion, you're gonna learn that it's metaphorical and kind of practical, because I did get sliced on Friday and left on Sunday. That's why you see bum-ass Lord Jamal trying to count and say that's the third day, that's not the third day. That's all from niggas looking at my science, bro. I'm tired of it now. So we're doing this just to kind of show the level that I'm on to stop. Because it's getting ridiculous. Let me show you let me give you an example, right, of arrogance that I'm sick of. So one day, I call a record store because I have two records that are warped. They fucked up. So I call the record store. I'm like, yo, do you fix records? He like, nah. But then he like, yo, what record is it? I'm like, what record is it? Because he want to know, so he could get it. That's how they do. I'm like, nah. Do you have this shit or not? Nah. But then the nigga says, oh, but I do have a Run DMC from 1984. I'm like, is that 84? Because I don't remember. I'm like, you sure it's not 83? Like I say some shit like that, right? Hit a pussy. No. It's 1984. I'm like, nigga. I don't. And I'm for certain that, they dropped in 83. That's a fact. Right? So what I do is when I'm talking to him, you know what I'm saying? I Google. I'm like, well, I Googled this. I said, well, the album came out. You're right. The album came out early '84, but they had 3 singles out in 1983. Sucker MCs Like That and Hard Times, right? See, most non-black people in the music industry don't have people who can challenge them like that, because the black people don't chronicle their culture like that, because it's not part of our culture. We're animists. Animist means we move with spirit. Other cats, they might be Arab, Muslim, or Jewish, so they're more concerned about the words and like the history and the stories of niggas like it's the Bible and shit. We have that too, but our shit is word of mouth. These niggas want to rank. You understand? That's the difference. I always was like, no, I'm going to keep up with them because I know that they were arrogant like that back then. That's the point. So not only I say that, I'll be like, yo, nah, bro. They came out with 3 joints in 1983. So we get off the phone, whatever, blah, 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 right? So I go on the website. He DJing. He playing Who Shot Ya? See that? Are you trying to talk to me? It's that. The hip hop shit has no boundaries of respect. Everybody thinks they're, and that's the biggest problem. Everybody thinks they're expert in hip hop, bro. It was like that in the music. That's why I like certain so-called underground traditional. That's why they never could have anybody blow up because everybody's a motherfucking rapper. There's no fans. It's like that in dancehall too. Everybody's a fan, not a fan. They're not fans. Like in dancehall, you know who dancehall fans? People like me, Haitians, Trinidadians. That's why Jamaicans owe us. Jamaica's not your fans. They may be in Jamaica a little bit, but they don't respect dancehall niggas like that. A little, not as much as like you regular to them. We give you props, IDs. Now, so I say my book's talking to me, my magazine's talking to me, and for you to, and this is just again, Shorty Anderson, my grandfather. I'm with him, or rather, he's with me, and he's been showing me that, especially when I got this. Family Feud. The Real Deal. Real Deal is a real estate magazine. Let me see. Y'all niggas be trying to read on your shit. Let me show you how to read, because y'all niggas be looking crazy. All right. The inside story of the succession-style family feud threatening to tear the Saul Goldman real estate empire apart. I know I messed up there. Whatever. Yeah. So that's what it is. I've been going through. My grandfather's fight for the succession of what he left. That's what's consumed me for the past. And this is why Dikembe Mutumbo comes in too. Now let's get to the Dikembe Mutumbo also. So I'm showing you the part Dikembe African, the whole black thing going on. My grandfather, who, let me compare him. He's from Haiti, but definitely he was from what you would call let me not do that. The African class of Haitian people that they try to subjugate, yeah. Right? Probably from the Congo. Many people from the Congo, all over Africa went to Haiti. You know that. You should know that. So he's definitely African. Haitian, but African. And him, my mother's father and my father's mother, the only 2 people in my family who never raised their voice at me, never hit me, never talked bad to me, never. So that's why it's good to have another great ancestor to fight for me, because they've been trying to destroy me over here on this plane. And that's how I feel, like he's settling in, like, yeah. Word. So, for what's going on today, how does it relate to today? Now, let's give us a little snapshot. We might have to come back, but let me give a little snapshot, right? Also, this goes on to the theme of me calling myself the Black Bruce Cutler. If you don't know who Bruce Cutler is, he was John Gotti's lawyer. John Gotti's lawyer. And with everything going on today, I had to pull out, of course, My Columbia Law School packet. Yeah. They talk about that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Columbia Law School packet. I'm not a lawyer in their system, but I'm definitely taking stride. Definitely have a lot of. I actually have somebody I know who works at Columbia Law School, which is why Math High for fucking Robert Kennedy's going to your goddamn show. You think it's because of you? We get to that now. So I'm very, very familiar. And another thing too about Columbia University Law School is the fact that, like, you know, for all the people who want to run their mouth about tangibles and reparations, you don't even talk about HR 40, let alone the first lawsuit, reparations lawsuit, which was against Aetna in 2002. See, you don't know that. That's just what's supposed to show you, like, a lot of the things you cats are doing is mad disingenuous. And I'm at 40 minutes. I might go to an hour and a half because we could do this, right? So you don't even know about that. But I was there for Columbia Law School when Ogletree and Manning Marable, they had like a conference there on that. And I've been there plenty of times. I've taken the LSAT plenty of times. Applied. I actually just applied again. But I feel like, you know, it's a combination of things, of mystic and mundane, which is why I never went to law school. But damn sure I got the skill set. So I say that to say, thinking about Dikembe Mutumbo, okay, he made me think about my grandfather, but he also made me think about a particular time period, and I'll tell you why. I'll lead up to it. I'll probably stop there. All right? So, very similar time. 2000. Election year. Fall 2000. Another thing, too, about my grandfather, his spirit, feeling it, is the fact that not only was he from Brooklyn, but he also, of course, came to Florida. And so, thinking about him, I think about both times, and in my mind, I'm like, since I've been here, I finally feel like I have my Florida respect. I got my Florida straight. Look at my hat as a New Yorker. You know, and again, showing and proving, like dudes say, I don't know, but gangsters get chubby and move to Miami, even though we're going to get back in shape. So that's one of the things. And so when I think about that, I think about the times I came to visit here. And one of those times was October 2000. We're going to lead up into it. I come here October 2000. I'm in college. I came in October specifically to go to Miami Carnival. We go to Miami Carnival, me and my cousin, and we somehow found a way to get, let's say, under the fence. Yeah. It was L. It was an L carnival too, you know? It let me see. That was the carnival that I seen like they had the soca people, they had the reggae, and then it was like Haitians coming, but they didn't know how to musically, it wasn't a musical match. That's how I know I'm wicked. Like the nigga was, because at that point, there was a group from Haiti who came here. See, that's why I don't want to mention people, because if I mention people, then they're getting props and not giving me props. I don't like that. That's why I don't want to not mention names. So there was a group that was hot at that time. Everybody knew. And then, so the Trinidadians, you know, trying to appeal to the Haitians, they were kind of playing it and kind of trying to make it in a way that was palatable to everybody. They couldn't do it. It's not an easy formula. Compas are totally different music. Totally different. You have to, as far as the structure, I mean. Right? So, that was October 2000, Miami Carnival. Right? Also in October 2000 was what? Bush Gore. That's why it feels like a 362, because it feels like we're right back there. We have a contentious race. I'm in Florida. And don't get it twisted. I've been here 8 years, and of course I've done the knowledge on the politics. You know I have to do that, especially being on the front line. Here, is it a swing state? I would say, this is what I would say. I would say It was then. And since I've been here, you know, you had the governor's race with Gillum. A lot of black women registered to vote. So, Florida's definitely more, I mean, it's dominated by Republicans, fiscally, obviously, clearly. They got the money. But that doesn't mean the Democrats can't organize. So, as far as it being a swing state, it could be. And not only just for black people, but Hispanic people also. They don't fit. Nobody fits on any quiet as kept. That's how I feel. Not like in New York, who, like, the Democrats are going to vote Democrat no matter what, to me, in New York. Unless they're Bloomberg, right? All right. So that's the similarity. I was there then. I'm here. I was here then. I'm here now. I'm looking at that aspect of it, right? And this is after, of course, How Can I Be Down 1999, which we're going to talk about. Because some of the people recently, we're going to get into that too. Fat Man Scoop was there, you know. So I'm going to talk about that experience. That was an L. The aftermath of that has been L. How Can I Be Down 99? I might do that shit, right? So October 2000, I'm over here in Florida, Miami Carnival. Election, I go home. Election going on. Actually, I come back to Florida. And this is where I want to introduce a couple of characters. Right? One, my uncle. Military dude. He probably watching right now. You watch everything I do. You go on the computer, try to think, but I'm not afraid of none of your surveillance, nothing. I have to say that. No disrespect. So my uncle, right, was in the Air Force. He used to live in Brooklyn, Haiti, Brooklyn, left long time ago. Gone. And that's key. He left in 93. Right after my aunt moved. I have an aunt who moved to Port Charlotte, Florida in 1992. My uncle moved to Southern Florida in 1993. All right? So I come through, right? Early 01. And this is where we're gonna start. Not only am I gonna fuse the Miami and New York, I'm gonna fuse the sports. I'm gonna do the sports in Miami in a way. I already do that, but watch. Just wait. I can't even explain how I'm gonna explain this. Probably not. It's the episode, but it's just the beginning. Just to show you. Let me give you an example, right? So it was. I used to come check my uncle, right? Like my uncle, and military dude. We used to go watch the Super Bowl at his crib. So we at the Super Bowl watching his crib. We at his crib watching the Super Bowl, right? Watch the Super Bowl. It's Giants versus Ravens. That's important to say too, because again, like I said, the New York sports mentality, and I've been watching a lot of, and it's funny, like this time of year, getting into the sports a little bit, it's ill because we have all three sports popping at the same time. We got the football, we got the basketball, we got baseball. And you know, baseball lately, last week it seemed like the most amazing week for the Mets, and then the Yankees are in the playoffs. You know, the sport's been crazy. Since I've been, put it like this, I came here in 2016. You know when I came here, what happened? That was when LeBron came back from 3-1. So sports since I've been here been crazy. Out of control. Just yesterday, Miami came back from like some crazy, right? All right. So we in tap with the sport. We always been in tap with the sport. But now we taking that tap to the next level too. Watch. So we come down here, we watch the Giants versus Ravens. So, but that's not the key. You know, we watched the game. And he's a huge Giants fan. And we both have the Giants mentality. As a matter of fact, I was watching, you know, shout out to the person who's kind of making me. Shout out to Mike Francesa. You probably don't know you, but from FAN. I was watching T. That's what they need in hip hop. They need a Mike Francesa, and like somebody who's just gonna tell them the truth and shit. And we going to an hour and a half because we be spitting now. So far as Ray Lewis I want to talk about. It's L New York. How was his number? Power, wisdom, being born as God. 52. Which is what which is what I've had to do since I've been here in Palm Beach, Florida. Now, so my uncle's a huge Giants fan, military nigga, right? Giants lose. Now, this is where I want to start the story, right here. He's driving me back to my grandmother's house, right? Hear this nigga. You have so much at your disposal. You're not taking care of what you should do. You need to do the... All right. You remember that? Screaming. This is the type of family I'm in, yo. On my mother's side. I gotta make that clear. That's my point. Screaming. Then I go to my grandmother's house. You know my grandmother got the jokes. Nah, not the jokes. Just like the... You can't describe. Like one-liners. Like my grandma tell me some shit like... Oh, yo, grandma, you was watching the football game? She's like, oh, what do you mean? They just go from one side to the other. That type of shit. That's the type of shit my grandma would say, right? But like mean. So that's the type of family, right? All right. Now, I'm describing one uncle. Now let me describe the other uncle. His right-hand man. Starsky to his hutch. Now him, he's a little calmer, but he's just as mean. But he let him bark, and he just stay in the back like this. Like, yeah, nigga. That's him. We used to go to his house too in Brooklyn. Now, in Brooklyn, let me shout out a couple of spots that don't get shouted out in Brooklyn. Mill Basin, Borough Park, Marine Park. He lived in Mill Basin. So we used to go to their house to watch boxing. So we seen Tyson Holyfield there, you know. And it's funny, I remember with Tyson Holyfield, how somebody was in there looking at like a religious, because you know Mike is Muslim and the other one is, not the other one, Holyfield is Christian. All right. So we used to watch sports stuff there, right? So we go there and watch the game with my 3 littler cousins, who are also in the military too. 2 of them, one of them is a Marine, one of them is in the Army. The funny thing, one is a Marine, one is an Army, but they big homie, he militant just by association. He an Israelite. So these are the type of people that's around. And my cousin comes to me one day and says, yo, you're not doing enough, my little cousin. But little cousin, let me show you something. This is a sidebar. This is the Marine who said that. How everything is real. You see this? This right here gonna destroy y'all. Watch this. Like I said, I'm just perusing stuff. I'm looking through stuff. See, let me show you. See, the Obama era was wicked when it started. It was wicked the whole time. But when it first started, this is the magazine. You know, right before he was getting elected, November 08. Right? Let me show you what it says. Show you this shit. Hold on. This is the attitude, right? And this is the attitude I took. And this is one of the reasons to the aftermath of the Obama era is key to this, especially due to the fact that the people who maybe naturally or consciously wanted to make change or wanted to strive to be better in the black community, there's people who've benefited who are not black, who scared to death, didn't do no protests, right? Now, but coming back to show you how Obama era, the beginning was wicked. Look at what this shit right here. This is how I nigga felt too. This is how I felt. See what it said? Get in or get left behind. That's what it says. It's about venture capital. And that's part of the problem too. You know, we have in our community, they have us stuck on politics so much we don't think about economics enough. It's starting now. Of course, you're riding a wave, and we're going to get to that. But niggas been on that since before Obama got. And that's the thing. And that's what's wrong with the black leadership you're seeing in America today. Not in America, in New York. You guys did not open, you didn't facilitate enough business opportunities for the black community. Anyway, so that's what it said. So that's how real the Obama era is. But just to talk to my cousin who came to me and was like, yo, you gotta do more. It's funny I looked at this shit. It says, look, this Marine thing, right? And it says, our word is bond. That's L to me. Peace to the gods. I like that. So it was already in the works, brother. You didn't have to come to tell me to do anything. Oh, by the way, this is the Constitution I have. You know I gotta have a Constitution from the Heritage Foundation. Let's talk. All right? So these are my cousins. We're all gathered. And watch me finish it. We probably could finish today. We're all gathered. What's going on there? Game 1, Sixers, Lakers. Game 1, Sixers, Lakers. We're all there. Not we all, you know. My younger cousins. We're watching the game. I'm sure my uncle is there, whatever. But you know who else is there? My grandmother. You know, my grandmother's the jet setter. She goes to all her kids' houses, and she happened to be there that night. 2 things happened that night. That's significant. We all know how it ended up, but why it's significant to me is because I was the only one who thought that the Sixers could win. Nobody thought the Sixers could win. Not even a game. They didn't think they could win a game. Why is that significant? Because, you know why? Because this to me is when the philosophy that I came up with called AI intelligence. That 19 keys you try to steal. And niggas keep trying to steal. AI intelligence. You can check that on my radio show. That's when it was born. And why is that significant? Because Dikembe Mutumbo was part of why I thought like that, being that he was what? African from the Congo. In brief, the AI intelligence philosophy is called ancestral intelligence. In addition to natural intelligence of people who play ball and whoever, that was embodied by that team. With Iverson and Mutombo. That's where it started. I looked at the team as a real black team. They even wore black. You go look at that team. And that shows to show you, even though obviously he's not a dark-skinned dude, but what he was culturally. See, that's the thing. That's what's black is a combination of race and culture. People are just, but it's not, but this is what it's not. It's not just an oppositional ideology, which is what a lot of people want to try to make it. It's just against the white man. We sick of that shit. So, but the thing about it, so why it's an oppositional ideology for you to be used and siphoned off in your manner. Other people are out doing business. So while we're supposed to protest what's going on in Palestine, which we don't want war anywhere, but DJ Khaled gets to hang out with Colorado. What is that? We got our priorities mixed up. And it's maliciously. It's malicious too. So this is the night that I started the Dikembe Mutumbo, Allen Iverson, AI intelligence philosophy. That's what I support. And I support for other reasons too. Because maybe my grandmother don't remember. Because that's also the night that the Barclays Center controversy started. All right? And we're going to get into that. I want her to see that and see whether she remembers that. All right? So there you have it for today. Dikembe Mutumbo. R.I.P. Peace.